This is Alyssa's fault. Just thought you should know.
Hey, in Nisqually, court officers, could you please get Mr. Booth in a breakout room? Or sorry, what's that?
We'll be there.
Okay, put him in breakout room 1. Thank you.
Eric Chapman. Good morning, Mr. Chapman. How are you today?
I'm good.
Okay, the charge before the court from yesterday is called drug paraphernalia possession regarding a pipe. That fine range is $100 to $500. Do you want to plead not guilty because you want to hire an attorney or have a trial?
Why to be let go from it?
Say that again.
I want to be let go from it.
Say it again?
I want to be let go from it.
You want to be let go? Well, I don't really know what let go from it means. You either plead not guilty and you come see me pursuant to a bond, or you plead guilty or no contest and you come see me to talk about how to pay it.
Which one I get confused there.
So,
How do I-
Mr. Chapman, since you're a little confused, let's just have a seat and I'll have a longer
No,
conversation.
no.
No, it's okay. Have a seat. I'll call you up a little bit later after you've seen.
Would I plead not guilty? Do I plead no contest?
Well, have a seat and I think you'll understand a little bit better later. Have a seat.
You called me up
Go
here.
ahead and have a seat. You can wait. Have a seat. Joshua De La Cruz.
Hey, watch your language.
Now, Mr. Chapman.
Yes.
Okay. Same charge that everybody else has today so far. It's called drug paraphernalia. This is of a pipe from October 6th. Do you want to plead not guilty because you want to hire an attorney or have a trial?
I do want to have a trial. I just want to go.
Okay, you don't want a trial, so you either plead guilty or no contest.
Guilty or no contest?
You choose one.
Both. I don't know. I don't know what no.
So he pleads guilty and no contest. Well, technically, or no contest. He took that literally. Oh, that's fun.
Contest means I don't know what it means.
No contest means that if you had a trial, you feel like you'd be found guilty. Guilty means I'm just plain out guilty.
Guilty then, yeah.
Okay, on your guilty plea, fine and court cost is $531 with $300 jail credit. You still owe $231. Then another drug paraphernalia possession from October 1st, over on Seminole Street. This is a type. How do you plead?
They let me go from that.
Yeah, they didn't arrest you, but they gave you a ticket. So
Yeah.
you're still going to enter a plea today when you see me.
Okay, so guilty?
Okay, on your guilty plea, fine and court cost is $531. So you've got to come see me tomorrow at my courthouse. You know where I'm located?
Yeah, downtown.
Over on the 4th Street side of the police department. Is there any reason you can't be here at 1:30 tomorrow to come talk to me about how to pay $762 to, I don't want you to pay it, but I expect you to be here to talk about how to pay it.
Yeah, I guess I show up there tomorrow morning.
Say that again?
I can show up there tomorrow morning.
I couldn't hear that.
I can show.
Can you come see me tomorrow afternoon? Yeah, I can see you tomorrow morning. But they do have a morning option, which is good.
Up there tomorrow morning.
Oh, no, don't be here tomorrow morning. Come tomorrow. Well, you can come see me at 10:30 to talk to me at 11, or you can come at 1:30 to talk to me at 2, okay?
I don't know. They let me go?
Yeah, you're getting out of jail today.
Okay.
But you've got to come to the courthouse for a hearing tomorrow, no later than 2.
Okay.
Hello, Amari. My name is Sunny Ratliff. I've met you before. Okay, Amari, I need to have your attention. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you see me? Oh my God. Now.
Okay, you
I
can,
said-
you can return to your pod. You can return to your pod.
Quit asking me questions. Arraignments is my name.
You're gonna speak full name for the judge.
Steven Sandoval.
All right, Mr. Sandoval, do you have a middle name?
Yes, Alicio.
Okay, thank you. Are you still on Evergreen
And if you thought the last one got worse, wait for this one.
Street?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have an email address?
Yes.
Can I get that?
Steven and Savannah at gmail.com.
Stephen, is it A-N-D and Savannah or the @ sign?
And the app for Arizona.
Okay. And then can you spell the second name for me? So, because there's a couple ways to do that one.
Savannha.
And which account was that at?
Huh?
So what, Stephen and Savannah at which account?
Email.
Are you saying Gmail?
Yes.
Okay, the microphone just doesn't pick it all up. All right, sir. And then your phone number ends in 0902?
Yes.
Okay. The state is alleging one charge of a DUI violation against you. On that charge, you have the right to remain silent, right to counsel, and right to trial. I've scheduled you an arraignment on the 16th of October at 9 o'clock in the morning. The arraignment is where you'll need to be prepared to plead either guilty, not guilty, or no contest to that charge. Depending on how you plead is what happens next with the court proceedings. The charge does have some jail time that's attached to it on a minimum basis that qualifies you for a right to a court-appointed attorney if you choose to want to do that. Is that something that you're interested in, to see if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney?
What do you mean jail time?
So on an allegation of a DUI, it has a minimum penalty of 8 hours of consecutive jail time. So being that it has some jail time in the sentencing portion of it, that means that you lose a loss of liberty. You get confined if you're found guilty, or you plead guilty or plead no contest. Being that there's the potential for your loss of liberty, that qualifies you for a possible court-appointed attorney as long as you financially qualify for one. Would you like me to send a financial questionnaire to you to fill out to see if you want an attorney?
Yes.
Okay, I'll send that to you with the paperwork that I send over, okay? All right, so you had the date on October 16th to give a plea of guilty, not guilty, or no contest. If you decide you do want the court-appointed attorney and you do qualify for it, I'll automatically enter your not guilty plea for you so the attorney can do some work for you, okay?
Okay.
All right, your release conditions are as follows. Obey all orders of the court. Do not commit any crimes. Notify the court immediately if you change your address. Do not leave the state of Arizona without permission of the court. I'm placing a $1,000 bond hold on you, so you remain in custody until the next court.
Remaining in custody? Why am I going to remain in custody, Your Honor? I have to go to work tomorrow.
You're remaining in custody because you have several failure to appears on other appearances.
Your Honor, I've been going to court. And I've been going to court, and I've been going to court, Your Honor. I cannot be in custody, Your Honor. I have to go to work. I missed work today. I need to go to work, Your Honor.
Okay, so that's why I put the court date as soon as I possibly could on the 16th.
I'm going to lose my job.
Okay.
I need to go to work, Your Honor, please. I'm begging you, please. I've been showing up to court, and if you've seen on previous times, I've been showing up. I have no failure to appear, no recent failure to appear.
Oh, okay, let me look at that. If I have anything within the last 6 months, then if I don't, then I'll reconsider that. Let me take a look. The last failure to appear I have here is in April of 2024. The bond remains in place. That'll be all. Thank you.
Your Honor, come on! Come on!
What would you like to email?
Ricardo Rios Marin.
Present. Can you turn my video on?
Yes, please.
No, can you? It's disabled. You turned me off.
Hang on
Go
one
on.
second.
Okay, let's put this together. And this guy talks really fast. I don't think she has it sped up. You can ask her.
Thank you.
Oh,
Oh, no.
hang on a second. We do have some tech problems sometimes, so just your
right.
patience is appreciated. Thank
Cool,
you.
cool.
One moment, please, while I bring you up. Do we have his email? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, one moment. Okay, and do you go by Rios or Rios Marin?
Rios Marin is fine.
Okay, Mr. Rios Marin, how do you wish to proceed? I see that you are eligible for a deferral.
Contested, please.
Okay. Promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Okay. What do you want to tell the court?
Is your court of a limited court jurisdiction, Ms. Your Honor?
Yes.
Perfect. So, a motion to dismiss as per the infraction rules of limited court jurisdiction 6.1.
I'm going to ask you to slow your speech down because I'm finding it hard to understand. Go ahead.
I motion to dismiss as per the infraction rules of limited court jurisdiction 6.1 SMD certification and maintenance. It's my understanding that the speed measuring devices are supposed to be maintained, and copies of the SMD certifications for this in particular are supposed to be maintained by the Washington State Patrol. Upon searching for the Washington State Patrol database,
Can you please slow down? I'm having a hard time understanding you. Go ahead.
I've cross-checked per the officer's report, the radar used, and I'm having trouble finding certification on the Washington State Patrol website.
You did not find certification of the officer's radar on the Washington State Patrol website. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. And for the record, that is radar number RP 32824.
Ma'am, are you a whore?
Just give me a moment to check that. All right.
Thank you.
And if you can email him this as well. Okay, so I'm emailing you the certification.
I don't need it now.
Pro tip, Alyssa, you cut out the fast forwards. I'm just saying that's how it's done.
In case you don't have to read, it, but I'm emailing.
I'm moving to dismiss as per the infraction rules. Is that and with motion to dismiss with prejudice?
Yes, I understand that. But I want you to have what I'm going to be basing my ruling on. I'm not just going to make a ruling without giving you the opportunity to read what I'm reading, okay?
Oh, I understand.
So if you'll look in the chat, this is a certificate concerning the design and construction of electronic speed measuring devices.
Right, but when I filed through the discovery process, it wasn't made available to me, therefore.
We're having the hearing now.
Right, but 14 days ago, I requested discovery and that should all been provided to me.
Okay.
With instructions saying that SMD certification for your office is as a court of limited jurisdiction.
Right.
So,
sir, you may appeal my decision, and we can give you. I'm finding you committed, and you may appeal my decision.
I'm not understanding you're governed by the infractions of rules of limited court jurisdiction. I filed for discovery as appropriate.
Are you saying that you did not receive your discovery?
I did not receive instructions on how to obtain the SMD certification through the Washington State Patrol.
Yeah.
The SMD certification doesn't pop up on the Washington State Patrol website, Miss. I asked you.
Okay. So discovery was sent to you on the 27th.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the court's, that is our responsibility. That has been fulfilled. I have reviewed the certificate concerning the design and construction of the electronic speed measuring device signed off by Thomas Wren. I have afforded you a copy. I am finding you committed, sir.
I'm sorry you feel that way. Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day. I will pay that in fine in full, and we'll go from there.
And if you'd
So sad. You lose, fast talker.
like, I can read you the officer's summary,
I have,
and I think that we should do that.
if you don't mind my asking, but if you read that over that summary, it says that he's on the center lane. I'm not sure if you have any control of what the Lakewood Police Department does, but my suggestion is be advised that this patrol officer not get in the way of a vehicle and try and stop a vehicle using his motorcycle to stop a vehicle that way. He crossed the center line and almost hit him because he thinks he can be at 5:21 in the morning in the middle of the dark.
Okay,
in a
let me
motorcycle.
just, for the record, I'd like to summarize this. On 7/11/2024 at 5:21 hours, I was operating a speed measuring device, Raptor RP radar system, unit RP 32824, front antenna RN 90945, rear antenna serial number RN 90946. I observed the above listed vehicle traveling westbound on Silicon Boulevard Southwest in the 2200 block within the city of Lakewood, Pierce County. Speed measuring device is approved for use in the state of Washington. I tested this radar using the tuning forks designed for the testing of this particular radar unit to determine its functionality and accuracy. Based upon this test, the radar unit checked as accurate.
You see the second paper? Whose actual
I
description?
tested this unit using the internal testing mode designed to internally test this unit to determine its functionality and accuracy. Based upon this test, the radar unit is accurate. I checked the LED readout to ensure that all lights were working. This ensures proper reading of the target speed.
Yes, Judge. Mock him with the speed. That's beautiful. That's beautiful and subtle.
The aforementioned checks were made at the beginning of my shift. The speed measuring device has been checked and calibrated on 1/05/2023 by Day Wireless and certified to be in tolerance and in proper working order. The radar unit emitted a clear, high audible tone. I visually observed the defendant's vehicle traveling obviously faster than posted 30-mile-per-hour speed limit. The speed registered on that radar unit indicated the defendant's vehicle speed to be 48 miles per hour.
Do you see the center?
Officers' comments. On 7/11/2024 at 5:21 hours, I was working as a traffic officer on a marked police motorcycle with working lights, siren, and body-worn camera in the city of Lakewood. I was traveling eastbound on Silicon Boulevard in the 2200 block within the city of Silicon when I observed a vehicle traveling westbound at a greater speed than the marked 30-mile-per-hour zone. I activated my front radar, received a good audible tone, and observed a speed of 48 miles per hour. I verified the patrol speed indicated on my radar. On my radar unit, matched the speedometer on my motorcycle. I moved close to the center line and flashed my high beam lights to get the driver to slow down, and they continued at the same speed without slowing as it passed by me. I then activated my lights and stopped the car further down the road after catching up to it. I contacted the driver, later identified as Rios Marin Ricardo by his Washington State driver's license. I advised Ricardo of who I was, that he was being recorded, and the reason for the stop. I then issued Ricardo an infraction for speeding 48 miles in the 30-mile-per-hour zone, which I explained to him. Nothing further. Michael McGettigan, Lakewood Police Department. I have received the 8 hours of training in the operation of this and other radars from WSCJTC, and I've been certified as a radar operator. I certify under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of Washington that all statements made herein are true and accurate, and that I am entering my authorized user ID and password to authenticate it. And that concludes his statement.
Yeah, that was totally unacceptable on his part. When I approached him, he was stopped on the center lane, flashing, but I couldn't understand what the emergency was. There's people behind him, stopped, everybody was stopped, and he moved up to out of the center into my lane and veered me off my course, almost into the side of the little forest there in the forest tunnel. Totally unacceptable. Motorcycle deaths are prevailing in the state of Washington. That's very unprofessional for him to do, to be in the center line and in danger, putting myself in danger, and myself and himself in danger that way.
It was fully
I don't agree with your decision.
My speeding was fine.
Go on about.
Okay, sir, before you
It was
log
beyond
off,
the pale.
it's important that you put your email in there so that we have that, if you would.
I'm not sure where you're speaking of. I got to get back inside work. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll mail it to you then. Okay,
Good afternoon, Teresa Johnson on behalf of and with Mr. Coots. We appear via Zoom for both matters without any objection. Mr. Coots, state your name for the record. We are here today for misdemeanor charges for trespassing on one file and then B&E without owner's permission, as well as a larceny less than $200. We do acknowledge receipt of those charges for both files. Waive formal reading, stand my client mute. I am asking the court to enter a not guilty plea for both matters.
Very well. Mr. Coots, you can see and understand these proceedings?
I think so, sir.
Okay, and you've had sufficient time to consult with Ms. Johnson, right? Very well. At this time, Mr. Coots, you're presumed innocent by law, and the court is entering a not guilty plea on your behalf. The court repeats, not guilty. Court-appointed counsel will be noted and approved. As Ms. Johnson, the new state law matters are charged as misdemeanors. I'm not going to speak for the MIDC coordinator, Mr. Angot, but it strikes this court that in all likelihood, they will continue the same counsel who had previously been appearing for Mr. Coots on his original misdemeanors from mid-September.
That's what Mr. Coots was hoping would happen. I advised him that I would let the court know, but I have no way of saying whether or not that can be effectuated. But
I will note that for the ROH so that Mr. Angot could be notified in that regard. And Mr. Coots, as you're aware, because you've been through this process more than once, you are presumed innocent. The next stage in these proceedings is what they refer to as a pretrial. And that will be a meeting between your counsel and the state prosecutor on the one matter and the city prosecutor on the new misdemeanor under city ordinance, as well as the three pre-existing matters. So in the meantime, what you need to do is, if you make your freedom today or any subsequent day, you need to keep a sharp eye on your mailbox on Orchard Lake Road. You're going to get a notice directing you when and how to appear for a pretrial. And in the meantime, Mr. Coots, you're going to hear from your counsel, and hopefully
this video brought to you by Supercuts.
It's going to be the previous counsel. So the court's going to indicate right now, please appoint.
Okay, not really.
Previous counsel, if possible. Now, Mr. Coots, on both of these matters, the court does need to set bond. Ms. Johnson, hang on.
Sorry.
Full stop. Ms. Johnson, we were advised this afternoon that Judge Kolakowski is going to hold the bond violations on the three older charges in abeyance, and those will be heard at the original pretrial dates on those that had already been set.
thank you.
So putting that to the side for the moment, Mr. Coots, the purpose of bond is twofold. In essence, it is to ensure that you do reappear to court and to afford any necessary protection for the public. The court takes into account multiple factors, including ties to the community, employment, a propensity to appear for your further dates, any incentive to flee, and as well, any compliance with any other matters as to a pretrial release. Ms. Johnson, what do you wish to share?
My client is very actively involved with the defense of his prior three cases, as the court is aware he has pending. He indicated he has applied for disability. He has not been granted that yet. Part of the issue with regard to these particular charges is that he was allowed to apparently stay with a friend, and that ended. He does not have a stable location right now, but the address that he did provide is one where he can get mail. He wants to defend against these charges. He does believe he will be exonerated. He would like the court to consider a personal bond. If the court does not believe that a personal bond is appropriate, I am asking for a nominal bond. He does not have the funds to post a nominal bond of any sort. So he would like the court to consider a personal bond.
Yeah, I need a personal bond, sir, so I can get back to work. I gotta get back to work. I've had some people trying to set me up on some things, so.
Mr. Coots, I told you not to talk about it.
All right,
That's why I'm talking on your behalf, okay?
I appreciate your lawyer trying to protect you. You don't want to go into any of the facts related to any of these matters. So the court's going to be speaking. That doesn't mean that you are we're not having a trial today, sir. So you don't want to answer what the court is going to have to cycle through in terms of making a record as to the decision on its bond. Ms. Johnson, the court's getting a mixed signal here in as much as Mr. Coots is applying for disability, but on the other hand, he needs to get back to work. So that's.
Yeah, I heard that. I wasn't aware he was working because I asked him.
Well, and the other issue is this, and he doesn't need to provide an answer if he doesn't want to, but the court is concerned about multiple contacts in Royal Oak when his listed residence is Pontiac. So.
I think the listed residence is only for purposes of mail right now.
Okay.
I have to get back to Pontiac where I have work in Eagle Harbor. And I'd like to get over there respectfully if I could have a PR bond so I can make contact with my attorney, get some cash flow going, and clarify this situation, what took place here, which I believe I'm innocent and should be cleared on these matters. So respectfully, if I could have a PR bond, that would be appreciated. I'm going to go back over to the Pontiac area and resume employment over there.
Okay. The court is going to simply perfect the record, Mr. Coots. This is not an invitation to the debate club this afternoon. This court is simply perfecting the record and doing its level best to make sure that fundamental fairness applies to this proceeding thoroughly. The narrative indicates, and again, some of these are simply incident situations, but it indicates that Mr. Coots has recently been investigated for numerous criminal violations, including trespassing, entry without permission, retail fraud, defrauding an innkeeper. There was, Mr. Coots, what did the court indicate? It indicated we're not having a debate today. It indicated it's making a record.
Yeah.
Right? If you're presumed innocent, you don't want to talk about this stuff right now. All we're talking about, Mr. Coots, is your bond. There was an incident at 218 Woodland involving trespassing on private property and investigating a garage that did not belong to Mr. Coots. There is a stalking complaint that was filed. There was what we used to refer to as a dine and dash at Ahan Thai. Resident of 409 Fairgrove contacted ROPD after Mr. Coots was skulking around that individual's home. The owner of Crawford Cosmetics has made numerous calls indicating that Mr. Coots has tried to gain entry to that business. And again, Mr. Coots returned to 218 Woodland. Those are matters that are noted, but the larger issue, Ms. Johnson, and the one that the court has the most concern with is that Mr. Coots, at least on a probable cause basis, ended up in Anthony Hamami's kitchen without permission. Mr. Coots, as to the state misdemeanor matters, these following conditions will apply. You will appear as directed for all your future dates. You'll abide any valid order or judgment entered in this case. You're not to leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. Please don't commit any crimes while you're on release status. Please do notify the court in writing of any change of address, telephone, or email. You'll be making reports to pretrial services, no alcohol, marijuana, or any other controlled substance. You will participate in a monitoring program. Ms. Johnson, are you aware of any ongoing medical treatment for a physical or emotional health condition for Mr. Coots?
I am not at this time.
Very well. You will not purchase or possess a firearm or other deadly weapon. You will not assault, harass, intimidate, beat, wound, or threaten Anthony Hamame, nor will you have any contact, direct or indirect, through a third party or otherwise, with Anthony Hamame. You will not enter bars, clubs, liquor stores, or any business premises in Royal Oak or Berkeley except for work or for medical reasons. No assaultive or threatening behavior. 2 ETG tests a week, 3 controlled substance tests a month. No release without GPS tether. And as to case number 2401968 SM, the court is going to set a $2,500 cash or surety bond.
Is that
And as to
sir, I can't.
case number 24R01967, the court will set a $1,500 cash or surety bond. So by this court's math, I believe that brings Mr. Coots to $4,000 cash surety. And with respect to the new state law misdemeanors, obviously no release without a GPS tether. That completes this arraignment. Ms. Johnson, do you have anything further on behalf of Mr. Coots?
I can't understand.
No.
Sir,
Thank you.
so did you say, Your Honor?
Sorry, what?
Yeah. What did you say? You're saying a $4,000
$2,500 on the state law misdemeanors cash or surety, and $1,500 on the trespassing misdemeanor cash or surety. So
How can you issue
$1,000 cash or surety.
when I'm indigent? You're giving me an illegal sentence.
That's not a sentence, sir. That is your bond. The court
Well, if I'm
is duty bound to set a bond by law. And frankly, the court would be remiss if it did not take into consideration all of the facts and circumstances that are before it. And the court may consider those facts and circumstances. The court is not sentencing you, sir. The court is setting a bond. If that money is posted and you are affixed with a GPS tether, your freedom will be restored. That completes your arraignment. You can return the device to the bailiff. Thank you.
So what happened to Judge Kolakowski?
Sir, I'll talk to you once we're done. I gotta get the next guy on this.
Sir? So what happened to Judge Kolakowski?
Sir.
These are new charges, sir. Your 3 original charges are before Judge Kolakowski, and it is quite likely that these new charges will appear before Judge Kolakowski as well on the same day as your bond violation hearings on the pre-existing charges. That completes your arraignment, Mr. Coots.
Mr. Kolakowski, Judge Kolakowski.
Mr. Coots, this court is sitting as the first arbiter for arraignments today. This court has been sanctioned by the Supreme Court Administrator's Office under a local administrative rule. Everything that just occurred is 100% legal. Your arraignment is complete. Please surrender the device to the officer now.
Last question, if I may. When would I see Judge Kolakowski?
So, Denny, put the
Like
iPad
today?
on the counter.
All right, thank you, sir. So I can have this reheard with Judge Kolakowski.
Yes, Denny.
Okay,
Put
all
the
right.
iPad
All
on
right, thank you, sir. I'm innocent of these charges, and that's why I need to ask these questions.
Thank you, Mr. Coots. Thank you, officer.
All right, I may regret this. I may regret this, but Griggsy sent me one. I haven't seen it. He tells me it's a cringe CPS case. Let's give it a look.
Right, Ms. Puckett, there we go. You may.
Okay. Ms. Puckett, do you have any medical training?
Yes, I'm CPR certified and I took a class in SIDS for CPS for whenever I was adopting.
All right. And
Please tell me there are no addresses or anything in here.
And
are
first
you a
aid.
doctor?
Sorry.
Sorry, are
Thank
you a
you.
nurse?
No, I am not.
Are you a doctor?
Of course not. No.
Okay. How would you know if a baby needed medical help?
Well, from what I've understood is if they start falling asleep really quickly, or if they, whenever they hit their head, if they start falling asleep, or if they start convulsing, obviously, or throwing up, and those are the signs and symptoms of needed to be taken to the ER.
Was your baby bruised?
Yeah, she had a bruise on her ear.
On just one ear?
It was on both ears because the way that she went down, there's a board right there, and then of course the wall.
All right. So without real medical training, you still determined that the baby did not need to go to the hospital. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, and the fact that I've had 3 kids, accidents do happen,
Why wasn't your mother in the room with you?
I mean, she was in the same home. She doesn't follow me to every single room I go to.
No other questions, past witness. I may need to recall this witness again, however.
All right, thank you, Ms. Lindsay.
Ms. Puckett, at any time did your baby start seizing?
No, God, no.
And then, were you able to calm her down after she fell off the bed?
Yes, of course.
Did she act normal and healthy and her normal stuff after she fell off the bed?
Yeah, there was from what I could see, there was nothing wrong with her. The bruises didn't show up until the next day.
Did she eat fine afterwards?
Yes, of course, yes.
Did she wake up easily whenever she fell asleep?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
And
beginning
did you
to
have any
regret this.
concern that your child was hurt at the time?
No, just for the simple fact that she fell. Other than that, I thought she was fine. I still think she's perfectly fine.
Okay. How tall is your bed from the floor?
It's a normal height, I would say.
Okay. And so if your baby needed any type of medical attention, would you have provided it to her?
100%, yes, ma'am.
That's all I have, Judge.
All right, thank you. Any other questions of Ms. Puckett from anyone? Ms. White, Ms. Weaver?
Briefly, Judge.
Okay.
Ma'am, why are you working court-ordered services if your intention is to leave your children with the grandparents?
The only reason that is my intention is because I'm not receiving any financial help at all. I'm not receiving any babysitting help at all for me to be able to attend a job, for me to be able to show up for any of that. I would love to have my children stay with me if I would have some financial capability of doing
Objection,
so.
non-responsive, Your Honor.
Overruled.
And I would obviously not want my kids to go anywhere. I've been dealing with this for over a year now. I need to be able to get a job. I need to be able to move on, and
Your Honor,
get
I
to that
object that this is non-responsive to the question.
Thank you. Any other questions, Ms. Wheeler?
Yes, Judge, just a few.
Sure.
Perhaps a follow-up to the question I just asked was, do you have a time frame upon which you anticipate being able to financially support your own children again?
Well, hopefully in the next 2 to 3 months, of course. I don't know how long it'll take me to secure and keep a job. Well, not keep a job, but have the savings from the job.
Where do you intend to live?
I intend to live with my mother.
No, when you leave her home right now.
Oh, so I do have a RV that I have not used yet that I probably will use.
Is this RV running and functional?
Yes, it is.
Are you seeking a job that is in this same area where your children are currently located?
Of course, yes, ma'am.
So how would the
Oh,
RV
sweet
help
Jesus.
you go get a job?
It wouldn't necessarily help me get a job, but it will put a roof over my head.
But you have a roof over your head, correct?
Yes, I do, as of now.
And you would have to pay to park this RV somewhere?
An RV roof.
I do believe so, yes.
I'm just having a hard time understanding what could you possibly accomplish living in an RV that you could not accomplish for cheaper by remaining in your mother's home?
And Judge, I'm going to object to relevance at this point. It has nothing to do with compliance or the children, what her plans would be if she was going to live in an RV.
I think that the relevance is her ability to maintain and provide for her children, which is literally the point of this case.
Overruled.
Thank
Answer
you.
the question, please.
Can you repeat the question, please?
What could you possibly accomplish in terms of gaining your financial independence by paying to park an RV somewhere in the same region that you couldn't accomplish for cheaper by remaining living in your mother's home?
Well, I think that I have asked enough of my mother, and it's time for me to be an adult and provide for myself and my children.
By moving into an RV with 3 kids.
So I expect to accomplish my independence.
Do you intend to be able to pay to park your RV and to also provide financial support to both sets of these grandparents that will be doing all of the day-to-day caregiving of your children?
We have not discussed a payment arrangement or anything like that, considering the children.
Judge, I don't think I have any further questions for this witness.
All right, thank you. Ms. Dick, back to you. Any other questions from anyone for Ms. Puckett?
Okay, I have a couple more questions. Ms. Puckett, do you currently have a child support order?
I have one out, yes, but it has not been approved of.
When did you apply for child support?
Months ago. I'm not sure to the exact number, but it's been a while.
Right, when you say you have a child support order out, but it has not been approved of, what are you saying?
That I filed for child support, but I have not heard back yet from the district attorney.
Have you contacted the child support office?
I have, yes, ma'am.
Have you lived in this RV before?
No, I mean, I own it, but I have not lived in it, no.
So you've never stayed in it?
By myself, I stayed like maybe 1 or 2 nights, yes.
Have you stayed with anyone else there?
No.
Have you taken the children there?
There's a pool that we went to with my mom.
When did you go?
It's been a few months now, or a few weeks.
A few weeks, all right.
I'm not sure the exact date.
Did your mother go with you?
Yes, she did.
I'll pass the witness, thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions from anyone for Ms. Puckett? Right, thank you. Any other witnesses, Ms. Dick? Any witnesses further, Ms. Lindsay?
At this time, I'd like to call the father.
All right, he was sworn in. You may Proceed, Ms. Davis.
Here comes Dad.
Mr. Davidson, are you still working in the same job?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, have you provided any financial support to the mother of your children?
Yes, and I have proof of that.
How much have you provided on a monthly basis?
I would have to calculate that, but every time I receive money, 90% of it I try to give to them because, I mean, my job pays for my food, so. But she gets help every chance she does. And actually, I have diapers, wipes, and food right here. If you can see that I've tried to contact
Judge, I'm going to object to non-responsive.
I tried to contact the mother every week to give them diapers and food, but they don't come get them.
Okay, listen very closely to the question. Answer only what you're being asked. Don't explain, don't elaborate. Your attorney will get a chance. Next question.
Okay. So how much do you make with each paycheck?
That varies depending on hours, but anywhere from $700 to $1,200.
And is that weekly or bi-weekly?
Again, depending on hours. Usually it's weekly, but sometimes we don't work that much.
So
it's kind of like a part-time, I guess, if you will.
Okay, so if you were to, with a $700 check, if you're providing 90% of that, that'd be $560. 90% of the money I obtain for myself. I mean, I have bills that come out of that $700. So what's left over, 90%, yes. I couldn't give you a number of that, but if it was a $700 check, probably at least $100. So $100 a week.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if it's $700 check, yes.
All right, and how much are you giving her if you get a $1,200 check?
I couldn't tell you the number off the top of my head. I'd give her what she asked for, and then if I have more, I'll give her more. But I have it all documented on Cash App because
Judge, I'm going to object to non-responsive.
Right, sustained. We can move on from child support.
Okay. So where do you want the children to live, your two children?
Say that one more time.
Where do you want your two children to live?
Judge, I'm going to object to relevant. This is the order to participate.
I have 3 children.
Sustained. Next question.
Have you been able to visit your children on a regular basis?
Not on a regular basis, but the judge.
And Judge, I'm going to object to non-responsive.
May I continue?
Sustained. Wait for the next question.
Okay. How often each month are you visiting your children?
Repeat that one more time.
How often each month are you visiting your children?
The judge only allowed me every other Sunday for 4 hours, but all 3 kids have not made it to one of those visits. Except
I'm going to object to non-responsive after every other Sunday for 4 hours.
Sustained.
Okay. How often have you visited your 2 biological children each month?
Again, they only let me see them every other Sunday for 4 hours.
And are you making those visitations?
Yes, and sometimes she allows me more than 4 hours. Like last Sunday, she stayed at my mom's until 8 o'clock with us.
And when you say she, you're referring to Miss Puckett?
Yes, Cheyenne, yes.
Okay.
That was before she left for Colorado.
And Judge, I'm going to object to non-responsive.
Sustained after yes.
All right. At this point, have you done any drug testing?
No, ma'am. I can do them today or tomorrow, but I've been out of town, so no, ma'am.
Are you
well, no, strike that. Okay. Do you intend to go to the appointment on October 9th?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you currently living?
Currently I live in my apartment that y'all have on file, the 3800 West Baker, where eventually I would like the kids to live. But I'm back and forth between Somerset, Texas. It's close to San Antonio. But my residence is 3800 West Baker, apartment 510.
All right. And is your phone currently working?
Currently it is, yes, ma'am. I just turned it on Thursday, actually.
And have you given that number to Ms. Young?
It's the same phone number. All it was is I couldn't pay the bill at the time. So I haven't reached out to anybody and gave them the number, but I just assumed they had.
And did you confirm that with Ms. Young?
Miss who?
Sorry, Ms. Townsend Johnson. Excuse me, Townsend Johnson.
I believe we spoke the other day in reference to her going to Cheyenne's and finding out.
And Judge, I'm going to object to non-responsive.
Did you confirm your phone number that it was the same with Ms. Townsend Johnson?
Yes.
Pass witness.
All right, thank you, Ms. Ivory Lindsay.
I don't have any questions, sir.
Thank you, Ms. White.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Davison, have you reached out to the providers to complete your services for your anger management?
Yes, ma'am. I did every Wednesday. I want to say 5 or 6 every Wednesday. I got to talk to the lady.
Okay. And then have you made any efforts to complete your BIP program?
So actually, the BIP's kind of confusing. I did the BIP, like they emailed me and I did a whole like 30-minute interview. The guy told me I didn't have anything else to do.
Okay, so he didn't make any recommendations to you?
No.
Okay.
And
you're starting classes on October 9th, is that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell the court what classes it is you're starting on October 9th?
I believe October 9th should be the whatever the BIP stands for, the
Batterers Intervention and Prevention Program?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And
Now, go ahead.
I was just going to say, attending any other classes that they had.
Okay. And with regard to your employment, what days of the week do you work?
That every day.
Okay. And what hours do you typically work?
Now that depends. Some days we might have a 3-hour day, and then some days I might have 16-hour days.
Okay. And how has that affected your ability to complete your services?
It's been difficult to do it considering Somerset just really has no phone service, and I don't have a vehicle because I had to sell it too.
And your failure to have them all completed is not that you don't intend to finish your classes. Is your work has affected that?
Yeah, absolutely. I have no reason to try to give my children away. I want my kids to live with me. I have no reason not to complete my classes.
Okay. Now, with regard to the injuries to your daughter, did Ms. Puckett make any statements to you regarding the injuries?
Yes. Like
what did she say to you?
He left.
It's that she had fell asleep and the baby fell off the bed and fell in between the mattress and the wall and landed on a bunch of wood under the bed. And then that was on Sunday whenever we all hung out. She told me that, and then that she was gonna leave
Noah and everything at the visitation because she
And
needed
Judge,
to
I'm
take
gonna
the baby.
object to non-responsive.
She was gonna take the baby to the hospital, and that's when I found out it was 2 days
Stand,
later.
wait for the next question, Mr. Davidson.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Like the non-responsive part. Next question.
so after she had told you that, what happened next?
Reference your question after she told me what.
After she told you that what had happened with the baby, what had happened next? Did Ms. Puckett make any more statements with regard to what had happened to the baby?
Not that I believe so. Outside of what I was gonna say a second ago was she wanted to take the baby to the hospital to make sure she was okay. But that was 2 days after the occurrence is when I seen her.
Okay. Did anyone make any statements about having the baby not being quiet and any frustration?
Oh, frustration outside of the Danny, her boyfriend,
Judge,
getting
I'm gonna
frustrated.
object to hearsay.
Right.
No personal knowledge.
Well, who told you about what happened with regard to Danny? Quick.
Blaine, my second youngest.
Judge, I'm gonna object to hearsay.
Questions withdrawn, Your Honor. Now, with regard to where the children are going to reside, what did Ms. Puckett tell you with regard to where she wants the children to live?
For some reason, she said that she wanted Noah to stay with Hermie, Blaine to go to my parents, and Autumn to go to the state because she feels like she has special needs. But she has an eyeball surgery, so I don't see why.
Okay. And what special needs does your daughter have, if any, that you're aware of?
She's supposed to have a contact in her eye, and she's got to wear an eye patch 6 hours a day so she doesn't lose her sight when she's older. I've never heard of anybody that have watched my children.
Judge, I'm gonna go to non-responsive. Object to non-responsive.
I'm gonna take these kids.
Wait for the next question.
All right. At this point, I'm going to pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Ms. Purdue-Wheeler.
Where were you on September 30th?
1 second, I have to look at my calendar. I'm not sure what day that was.
Your Honor, I'm going to object that he's having to refer to a document that's not admitted into evidence.
I'm just asking him to refresh his recollection.
Right. If
Can you tell me what day that is?
September 30th would have been 7 days ago.
So
Right.
what day would that have been?
Let me know if your memory has been refreshed, Mr. Davidson.
I just need to know what day that is. I know the 30th, but what day of the week would that be?
It would have been last Monday. Where were you last Monday?
Last Monday, I can't recall off the top of my head. Well, I was in town because Sunday was not my actual appointment with the kids because it's every other Sunday, but I was gonna be allowed to see them that Sunday. So I actually do not remember right now.
Did you try to go to the school and pull the kids out of school?
Never once did I. I called the school and I asked if the kids had made it to school. Okay, so Monday, yes. So Sunday the kids came over. So Monday I was at my apartment and I had heard my cousin, about 3 people called me telling
Judge,
me
I'm gonna object to hearsay.
Sustained. Wait for the next question, Mr. Davidson. Can't tell me what somebody else said unless it's the mother.
Without referencing what other people said.
Outside
what's
of
going on for you?
So I had talked to Cheyenne on the phone and she had told me about wanting to give the kids away. And then she hung up and I hadn't been able to get hold of anybody. I asked her, if the kids made it to school because they had the late night the night before. And all I did was call the school and I asked if my children were at school. They told me they couldn't give me any information on my kids because I'm not written down as a father or anything in the system. And I said, okay, well, I would like to know if they're there or not, because if they're not there, they could be in danger because I've been worried about this.
Sustained.
Sir, do you currently have a warrant out for your arrest in Hayes County?
Possibly, yes,
Objection
ma'am.
relevance.
Pretty
Over.
sure during the court-ordered services case.
Over.
Thank you, Judge. So did you
Yeah.
say possibly yes?
Possibly, I have to check.
Objection,
because I know that
speculation.
Sustained.
Sir, if you do have a warrant out for your arrest, do you know what conduct it would be for?
For failure to appear at court would be my warrant.
And what were you supposed to have gone to court for?
That's 5 years old. I would have to call my bail bondsman or something and find that out.
Okay, objection, speculation.
Were you arrested in Hayes County for a DWI?
Possibly, I'd have to go back and look, but yeah, possibly.
May I have a time frame, Your Honor?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, wait.
Not for my client. Objection form, I need a time frame of the question. It was open-ended in time.
Oh, I just asked if
Before I had children.
if you let him speak.
Do what? I'm sorry.
You're
Did you-
fine. I'm responding to your attorney, but I wanted to wait for you to pause.
Oh, it's like,
Okay.
I don't know who's talking first. It's kind of like skipping around. I'm sorry.
Kathy, I apologize. My question was meant to be, were you arrested for a DWI for which you are potentially facing a warrant for his arrest in Hayes County currently?
All right, so answer that question, Mr. Davidson, please.
Oh, sorry that it was for Miss Kathy. Can you repeat it?
Were you arrested for a DWI, which is what you were supposed to have appeared in court for recently, which is why you might have a warrant for your arrest?
Not recently, but yes, I have been. It was before I had children.
Do you know when this case started?
I mean, I'm at loss for words on how many CPS cases I've had to deal with being with their mother.
Judge,
which-
I'm going to object to non-responsive.
Sustained.
I answered the question. Which one are you referring to?
Sir, it's okay. When the judge says sustained, it means you don't have to finish answering the question. It
I
means
was
that
asking the question.
it means that they didn't like my question, so I'll ask a different one. Would it surprise you to know that I was appointed to represent the children by this court in June of this year? Does that sound right?
For you, yes, that sounds about right.
And so 4 months in, why have you not done any of your services?
Again, I have
Objection.
asked.
Misstates his prior testimony. He already testified. He's tried to participate in his services.
Sustained.
Okay,
Wait,
4 months in,
wait.
why have you not done any drug testing?
Why have I not done any drug testing?
I think we
I have
know.
no problem doing any drug testing. I told CPS and the lawyer, I want to say a supervisor at CPS, that I wanted to know why they said I went and took a drug test, and I knew I didn't go because I was working then. And they told me that they argued with me that I did go take a drug test.
Mr.
When it came back
Davidson.
positive, I'm answering the
Mr.
question.
Davidson. That was not responsive. Why
Hi.
haven't you gone to any of your drug tests?
I have not gone because somebody went under false identity, and as in my view, somebody went and took a drug test, and the drug test place called CPS, told them they passed it, and it went through all these steps, but I was never there, so I was not going to return to do a drug test anywhere until I was told why someone falsely identified themselves as me, because I don't want to go do a drug test, because if it would have failed, it would have been on me. But because it was passed, they told me, well, what's it matter? You passed. Well, because I didn't take that drug test, so I was not going to take one until I knew why. And I still haven't got a clear answer.
Ms. Purdue Wheeler, next question.
Thank you, Judge.
Yeah, we've got a real serious problem with people running
Sir,
around getting clean
in
drug
your
tests for other
opinion, do
people.
you think that Cheyenne is able to care for all 3 of her children right now?
Currently, no. Is she capable? Absolutely. She's a great mother. But right now, where her mental state is, no.
Okay. I don't think I have any further questions, Judge.
She's a great mother.
All right. Ms.
She wants
Dick,
to
what
split
is
her
the
kids
department
up
asking me to do
in 3
today?
different places.
Okay,
Ship one off to the state and move
sorry,
into an RV.
I have to go back, and I'm getting a lot of text right now. We're requesting that the baby be examined as soon as possible. And we also want to send the case through the FACN to explore if the child's injuries were consistent with a fall or child abuse.
That was his position.
Isn't there an open investigation?
There is an open investigation, Your Honor, and Ms. Garzaria is available.
Well, let them order it.
So you're
This court,
recommending that the investigation unit order.
this court does not have custody of these children. CPS does not have custody of these children by way of this.
Okay.
What county is that investigation out of? Harris County?
I believe it's out of Chambers County. I can verify that if you'll give me a moment. It should be out of Chambers County.
Judge, if the department isn't requesting it, I am requesting that this case be escalated to a TMC case and full removal under Chapter 262. I'm worried.
Yes.
Where are the children right now? Are they with Ms. Davidson?
Yes, they were Miss Davidson with her mother and her aunt while she's out of town, but they're still with her.
That's not Miss Davidson.
I'm sorry, they're with Miss.
Puckett, I'm sorry.
Corey Davidson?
No, there was Miss Puckett and her mother and aunt right now.
Thought Miss Puckett was out of town.
Okay, so they're with their maternal grandmother and the maternal aunt?
Correct.
All right, and the mother testified that she was wanting whom to go live with Corey Davidson?
The youngest two, Judge. There's 2 biological children. The oldest one is adopted by Miss Puckett.
Right, so AD and BD. To live with Ms. Corey Davidson, correct?
That is correct, Judge.
Okay. And your client plans on allowing Noah to remain with her mother and/or her mother and aunt?
Correct, Judge. She hasn't come to any final decisions. That's my understanding, is that everybody's been discussing it, but it hasn't been anything finalized.
So one of our concerns is that the mother will return to the grandmother's home when she returns from Colorado.
I think she lived there, Judge. Yes, she's gonna return there.
We're asking that the mother leave the grandmother's home.
And Judge, I don't think they've pled for that one, even in
In these cases, I cannot order the children outside the home.
But the children are currently living with the grandmother and the mother is not in the home.
only because she's on vacation. Well, not even vacation, but a family emergency in Colorado.
They don't even live here in the home.
Mr. Davidson, mute your device, please, and
I was talking, sorry. I thought you muted me.
no.
You
And be
know,
still, stay stationary, please.
a family emergency vacation.
And I think the department is asking the removal be ordered based on Chapter 262, with the concerns of the mother being left to supervise the children unsupervised by her mother, which was the original arrangement. And I did have a couple of questions for Ms. Davidson regarding that in relation to the recent visit that he had with the mother.
Corey Davidson?
No, with the father, Brandon Davidson. I wanted to ask him.
No, whom do you want to call or recall?
Brandon Davidson. I just have a couple of questions for him relating to the most recent visit.
No,
which was last Sunday.
Which was Sunday. And
Okay.
how did the mother get to the visit with the children?
Quickly, you can unmute now, Mr. Davidson.
So, Mr. Davidson, how
Sorry,
did the mother get to the visit with the children when she came to bring the children to you?
No, I'm in Gdansk
She
now.
drove her vehicle. Just her and the kids.
I'm going to object to non-response after she drove her vehicle.
Sustained.
Okay. She drove her vehicle. Was her mother with her when she was in the vehicle and arrived at the home?
We met at a gas station, but no, ma'am.
So the grandmother was not present with the children when the mother was driving the children.
And Judge, I'm going to object to relevant at this point, and there is no order that says mom has to supervise.
Sustained. All right. Is there any other evidence that anyone cares to put on for the compliance hearing?
Not for the compliance hearing for me, Your Honor.
Right. At this time, based on the evidence, the court finds that neither parent is compliant with their service plans. The court sets this for a dismissal hearing on November the 4th at 9 a.m. Mr. Davidson and Ms. Puckett, you either get compliant. The reason that you offered Mr. Davidson for not doing any subsequent drug testing as ordered and requested by the department is not sufficient. So you all need to, nope, don't need to hear any more. You all need to work on your services double time and in earnest. Take care of those services, or come 11/4, I'm going to extend the case, or I'm going to reconsider removing the children, which I have a feeling the department may ask me to do between now and then. If things aren't quickly rectified and the children clearly safe, I'm taking any oral request for that today under advisement. So with that, I'm directing the department and Ms. Purdue-Wheeler to visit with the children to ensure their safety. And the department knows what's in its toolbox in regard to the Texas Family Code. So Mr. Davidson and Ms. Puckett, work your services. Drug test. I want Ms. Puckett tested when she comes back from Colorado. My understanding is she is on her way home today.
She shook her head, yes, Judge.
All right.
Sorry, yes, Judge.
Okay. And it was called domestic violence by way of testimony that for which you have 3 more classes. Now, is that domestic violence or is that your BIP classes?
It's victims of domestic violence. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
I need that class as well.
Right. Again, well, my understanding is you go on the 9th, don't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask for the victims class as well.
Okay. All right. Okay. So work your services so you all can provide a safe environment for your children, whether it's a co-parenting situation or otherwise. But a safe environment means I don't need to hear anything else today. You just show me, don't tell me. A safe environment means at least a drug-free and a violent-free environment. So the word to the wise. We'll see you all back again, November the 4th, 9 a.m.
Yes, Judge.
All are
Thank you.
excused. You all are excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Can't ask any question.
Dick, we have quite a host of devices still on Zoom, but I believe this is our final case of the day.
I believe so too, Your Honor.
Okay, so I thank you all very much. Please take care. Have a good rest of your week, and you are excused, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Here's how creatine is bad for you. In order to find that out, you're going to have to go to your school nurse and have.
Sorry about that. I feel violated. In all seriousness, thank you, Greg Z. That was an interesting hearing, but now I need a shower. In fairness, I needed a shower before the hearing started. Oh, those kids will get taken, which is no grand solution. We've also had the exploits of the CPS on here. I can't remember that video. What was the judge who held them all in contempt because they wouldn't sign in? Oh, that was a classic. That was down in Texas too. But me, let me tell you, this ain't Texas here. I'm in Gdansk, yo. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful here. So I threw that one in at the end. No, Griggsy, not the Asian judge. I can't think of his name right now. Oh, somebody tell me. It was old. He had a bunch of CPS people, and they acted like they couldn't get the device to work. Then he gave him a couple minutes, and then they held them all in contempt. It'd take me. No, it's not Ricky. I mean, we're talking a couple of years ago. This is before we're doing Kansas calls here. I feel fine. I did. Admittedly, I do look like death warmed over, but I'm sober as a deacon. It is 5:38 in the morning here. I kicked this thing off about 4 o'clock in the morning. But there's a reason for that. I fell asleep I had woken up at that time after a long sleep. So I feel fine. And I didn't, and I, you know, I just fell asleep because of travel. I wasn't partying. I know you guys think I probably just go around here. I probably just go around and party. That's not what's going on. That's not what's going on. In all seriousness, it hasn't been what's going on. I mean, sometimes it is, but it hasn't been because I've been working. There's been a lot of stuff going on. I spent a lot of yesterday on the phone with Yesenia and working on cases, to be honest. It's tough being me. But I did make it out. I did make it out. You guys, well, most people don't know about it, but over on Vlog Talk with Mike, I did a little walkabout in Gdansk. It was good. I lost signal towards the end of it, but you get a good sense of it. You can see how pretty the place is, and there's just so much good stuff to see over here. So thank you all for coming out. I appreciate it. Thank you to Alyssa for putting that together for me, and thank you to Grigsy for sending me the second video. That was all fun. I'll see y'all soon.